What's up? It's your girl, comedian Carmen Barton, coming to you live from Ghetto Girl Studios in Inglewood, California. Listen, the last couple of days have been just absolutely beyond amazing. Yesterday, I had my daytime television debut on Sherri, and also we welcomed season 3 of Miss Pat Settles It. So I'm back on your TV screens, just popping and blessed. This is episode 7 of But Did You Die Though? Confessions of a Widow. Let's go.
It didn't kill me, but it made me stronger though, because I asked myself, did you die though? Yeah. Confessions of a Widow.
Yeah. Trying to piece it back together, I've been stressing. I ain't been the same since I lost my best friend. My thoughts is crowded, don't know what to do about it. So I figure I should sit down and talk about it. Weight of the world on my shoulders, but still I go hard. So I created a session called the Report Card. 4 season, 2 F's, the C stands for comedy, cooking, crafting, and Christianity. The 2 F's is fashion and fitness. Then I do the comical confessions to tell you all of my business. They ask me how am I doing and I can't lie though. Yeah, damn near killed me. But did you die though? Confessions of a widow. But did you die though? Confessions of a widow. But did you die though? Nope. But did you die though?
Welcome back to Confessions of a Widow. We're gonna just jump right into it. I made my my daytime TV debut. That's a big thing in the entertainment industry. And so for those of you who don't know, I am a stand-up comedian. I have been doing stand-up comedy for about 18 years, a very, very long time. And my career has had so many highs and so many lows, so many times where I've almost made it, been this close, and so many exciting moments. And from filming multiple television appearances in 1 year to things slowing down, completely stopping for me. And so I'm celebrating this amazing moment where I'm on daytime television. Now, it's not difficult for a comedian to get on TV in the evening time. Miss Pat Settles It runs, I'm in my 3rd season, so I've done 20 episodes each season. So I've done 60 episodes, all of those running in the evening. And I'm not saying that ain't nothing, but I'm saying that it's common, but to be on TV during the day is huge because you have a whole different type of audience. And so I'm extremely happy about it. And I'm glad that you guys joined me today because we're going to talk about the highs and lows of celebrations and happy moments like these. I'm gonna take you all behind the scenes and tell y'all everything that I went through and how amazing everything was. And I want to thank you all so much for all of your love and support. The title of this episode is Carmen and Nick on Sherri because I was able to talk about my husband, to tell some of the jokes that I have about my husband, and to also have him a photo of he and I was there. So it's kind of like he was on Sherri too. So that's definitely a big celebration. For those of you who don't know, I am a widow. My husband did die. He was 40 years old, and he died 4 years ago. And he was also a comedian, and that was ultimately his goal. Most of the comedians have goals, and they want to get on TV. And so he said that, and that's the picture of. There is the picture of us. I'm trying not to cry today, y'all. I'm trying not to cry, but I'm very, very, very emotional. So my husband was on TV. And listen, I know that all his family and friends in New York were watching. They might not admit it, but they were all watching. And it was such a shock for everybody because nobody knew what jokes I was going to tell. Nobody knew what was going to play. And so I'm happy that I have had the opportunity to continue to keep his memory alive. I don't post about him as much as I used to when he first died. I don't post on his page anymore at all. I don't talk about him nearly as much as I think about him. And that is an area that I feel like I have failed as a widow, because one of the things that I want to do as a widow. One of the things that's important to me is that I keep my husband's memory alive, and I don't talk about him near as much. Because there's certain things surrounding his death that I want to, that I want to remain private because they are private. And then, all of the talk would not be good. And I don't want to be on the internet crying every day. So, but I definitely think about him every day, and I know that he's looking down, and I know that he's proud. And I'm happy that the production team that Sherri has, even they actually suggested that we put that photo up. And it's always a lot because when production asked for the photos, I wasn't even able to go through the photos to pick the right one, because sometimes going through photos really, really, really hurts, when you've lost a loved one. And let me tell you something, there's no one out here that gives a damn about your grief less than Apple. Let me tell you something. Apple don't give a damn about you grieving and being sad. Apple will take the most intimate moments that you had with your deceased loved ones and be like, hey, remember this? Like, Apple, did anybody ask you to remind me that today was the day that he proposed to me? Not that I needed to be reminded, but now I hear the photos up. Now I'm crying. Now I got stuff to do and I can't do my stuff that I got to do. But let me say, Apple don't give a hell. And so I recognize and realize that that's difficult for us widows to go through photos and to send photos. But I'm glad that I was able to talk about my husband and be funny, because death is a part of life. As sad as it is, we all gonna die. And so I'm glad that I was able to include the jokes about my husband in my set. Some of the jokes. I really didn't do a very long set, but it was nice and effective, and I was really proud of myself. Let me tell you, from beginning to end, the Sherri Show, the whole team was just amazing. You can start doing some of the photos. One photo that I'm going to show you is somebody's reaction to finding me and telling me their story. And we're going to get into that later, but I'm going to get right into the behind the scenes. So everything from beginning to end was amazing. And I loved how my loved ones began to send me pictures and the excitement of, my name being back on TV, even the small little cable TV where you get the info, I was on there. And so it was just super exciting. It brought me back to my very first television appearance, which was First Amendment. And I filmed that in Washington, D.C. And it was hosted by Doug Williams. And I believe that was in 2012, maybe. Carlton Davidson was the talent producer who spotted me at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood and put me on the show. No audition. And it was my first television appearance. And so this kind of reminds me of that, because, my name is on the episode, and it was just, just super exciting all over. And you would think that I'm on TV all the time, so I will be excited about these things. I would be used to it, but I'm not. And when I met Sherri, she was just so personable. I had met her before a couple of times, so it wasn't my first time meeting her. But when I met with her privately after the show, we talked, and she invited me to her ceremony for her store on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That was like the most amazing event. It was so dope. I was late, so I missed a huge part of the ceremony, and it was really kind of beyond my control because I was just flying in from Seattle. I had shows in Tacoma this past weekend. And so I got there as soon as I could, but with all the traffic in LA and just getting off the plane, getting to my house from the airport, getting myself together, getting her gifts together, it was just a lot. So I ended up being late. And so I ended up missing a huge part of the ceremony, but I was there in time to get a photo with her. And the ceremony was amazing. It was so inspirational as a comedian to be able to see one of my peers, reach like the highest level, to get a star on Hollywood. That's the ultimate success. And it was a star-studded event. Tyler Perry spoke, Niecy Nash spoke, and even those who did not speak, at the actual event. During the party, they play videos of all of her friends and colleagues saluting her. And those people included Oprah Winfrey. And Oprah Winfrey said something really magical in her speech to Sherri, congratulating her. She said, as a little Black girl, we don't even dream about getting a star on a Hollywood Walk of Fame. We feel like that is so out of reach for us that ain't even the things that we dream. And look at her accomplishing it. Jamie Foxx also gave a beautiful tribute, and what he said stuck with me too. He said, no matter where you go, and no matter what you do in your career, in your life from this point on, this is something that can never be taken away from you. Your name is on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and nobody is going to be there forever. Nobody can take that from you. So it was nice. It was a great party. I know I love a good party. She gave away these fans. Look at these fans, y'all. I should have popped it like they do the. Yes, the fans were a great giveaway. I just feel so special. And I didn't even realize this until today, that the fan, if you can see, it has the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and it has the date. And the other side has a whole nother picture, another color. This is so cute. Where them fans at? So yeah, so it was an amazing experience. And so Sherri is a G. Let me tell you, she's from Chicago, Illinois. They had Garrett's Popcorn as one of the party favorites. And Sherri spoke to and took pictures with every single person there. I was like, Sherri, do you want to sit down? She was like, no, I sure don't. She said, I'm at work. She said, we're going to get these pictures. We're going to get, she did the meet and greet with everybody, took time and spoke to them. And I was just so happy to be amongst the stars. Joe and Guy Torrey from my hometown of St. Louis were also there. It was just so many comedians. L'Oreal was there, and it was just great to never, because I never go anywhere. I don't go anywhere. I'll be in this house in my bed. I never go anywhere. So to be able to get out and network, was amazing. So I just wanted to give you guys that tidbit of behind the scenes info, and we're going to talk about the uncomfortable things. One of the things that I love about Sherri is that she definitely gave the podcast a plug, and some of you are actually here because of her. And I'm so happy about that, because what you'll learn here at But Did You Die Though? Confessions of a Widow, please don't forget to like and share and subscribe to the YouTube page so that you can be up to date on the episodes. We're trying to do them every Wednesday, but they're kind of sporadic now because my schedule is so hectic, and I have some minor production issues. I wasn't able to spit those episodes out like I wanted to in unison, but I am committed to getting these episodes out. I love this style because even though I don't have the multi cameras and it's not as savvy as a lot of the podcasts, I am able to jump right on and give you guys an episode based on something current, rather than filming a bunch of them, weeks and weeks in advance. And by the time you get to it, that'd be old news. So I'm happy about that. But we're continuously improving. And so I want to thank everybody for continuing to support and follow me. And let's get into this outfit. So the outfit that I wore, the jacket was a custom jacket by RC Soul. And she is in St. Louis, and we love and appreciate her for getting in the jacket. Let me go ahead and give you guys another quick look. Pardon my leaving the camera for a second, but I should have had this with me, but I did have the jacket right here. But I love this jacket. The back of it says dope. It's adorned with jewels and all the customizations that I just love. Isn't this amazing, y'all? I just love RC Soul. She transforms, average pieces into masterpieces. And then on the last episode, I showed you guys the shoes that I just happened to get from Loewe when I went shopping, and I hadn't even put the two together, but they matched so perfectly. And I just felt fabulous. And I opened up about my plastic surgery, which we're going to do a episode that's going to be specifically about plastic surgery, where I go into detail about my doctor and about the procedures that I've had and about how I just keep gaining weight after I get them because I don't change my lifestyle. But I'm doing much better though. But that was the look, and so I'm definitely happy with the look. It came together last minute, and I'm just back on TV. And let me tell y'all have not seen the end of me. I have a lot more projects that I'm filming before the end of the year. We only got a couple of months left, so I do have a couple more projects that I'm filming. And Miss Pastelos, it has 20 episodes that's going to air, and so we're going to get these first 10 out. Last night was the season premiere of season 3, and so we had 2 episodes back to back. And listen, this year is crazy. This year we have Nene League, Safari, Nav Green. It's so many new people, and the cases are just crazier and crazier. And so I was able to actually shout out the show, and that was one of the reasons that I was at Sherri to promote the show. And so me and Sherri did get a chance to sit down and talk about how I am a fan favorite on Miss Pastelos at the Court show that also aired the first episode last night. So let's get into the thick of it. Now, the downsides to living with loss is that every happy moment has I don't want to say a dark cloud. Every happy moment has a little bit of sadness because my husband was not there to be with me. My husband was one of my biggest supporters. There was no competition with us. He supported me. He helped me. I supported him. I helped him. He encouraged me. We encouraged each other, and we were happy for each other. And he would have been right by my side if he was here with us. He would have been right there with me. He went with me to do things. We just had the perfect relationship because it's difficult dating. And, that's why you have a lot of people, doctors that date other doctors because they understand the lifestyle. And so he understood and he accepted my lifestyle, and I understood and accepted his lifestyle. We understood that, in the entertainment industry, things you might have a bad month, and we had each other's backs. And it's just so sad that I know that he's looking down on me, but that he wasn't here to actually watch me. And so I have so much material. And so selecting the material that I told the jokes about on her show, it wasn't difficult because one of the things that I'm committed to speaking about grief, because I have never felt so alone and outcast the way that I did after my husband died. When I would go to places, people would look at me like, oh, there's the widow. Oh, there she is. Oh, she's out. Or to be like, oh, like I'm trying to, I've been crying in the house for 2 weeks straight. I finally come out and y'all want to all me. Like, it's so weird and difficult. And another thing that I didn't like about when I started going out is that, people were scared to talk about my husband. It was like, mom's the word. Like, don't mention his name. Don't mention him, But at the end of the day, like I said earlier in the show, one of my jobs to me is to keep his memory alive. And what better way to keep his memory alive than to talk about him, and to acknowledge his presence and to acknowledge the mark that he left on the world. And so, getting out isn't always as easy as people might think it is. And so if you are a widow or you are grieving and you are struggling with getting out, just know that you're not alone, because that was a thing that I struggled with. And, it's hard enough just to put yourself back together, but then having to face all of the questions. And, I even talked about all the stuff that you have to deal with after somebody dies. Like, nobody wants to go through that, So if you're not a widow, if you're not grieving, and you maybe know someone that is, or know someone that has, always keep in mind the things that should and shouldn't be done. One of the things that I didn't like was when people be like, oh, what do you need? Like, I'm trying to figure out how to wipe my tail. I don't know which way is up, so I don't even know what I need. You know what I'm saying? But a few things that anyone who has lost someone is going to need. And I hadn't even planned on talking about this, but this is just what's on my heart to say. One thing that grievers are going to need is some good tissue, because listen, when I was in the hospital when my husband died, they gave me a little box of tissue. I still have it in there. It's the hardest tissue I have ever touched. It's like paper. Like, why would they give somebody, and that's what they gave me when I went in to see my husband's body. They were like, here's the tissue. And it was like so freaking hard. I'm like, what? And so you would be surprised at how much grievers cry at home. So get them some good tissue, the good tissue with the lotion in it. That's the tissue. That's a very good gift to give. And also a notebook, because, especially when you lose someone that's close to you and you're the next of kin, you got a lot of stuff to do. You got a lot of stuff to handle. And so, give them a notebook, a pen, and it's also good to journal when you're grieving. I don't journal as much as I used to, but one of the important things about journaling and writing things down is writing is therapeutic, but you're also able to go back and look at how far you've come. I can see how far I've come. I couldn't even come into this room. This room is our podcast studio, and we have 4 different areas. This is my flower area, and I just go to whichever one I'm feeling like going to. And so I have the area that's the original red flags that my husband had for his podcast, Curious Red Flags, and so I use that background sometimes too. But I couldn't even come in here. He spent so much time in this room, and we was like, I used to be like, God, okay, you going live again? You going back on YouTube again? Like, oh goodness. And he used to be like, oh, it's only gonna be for a little bit, just relax. And I mean, one time he sat me down and he said, let me just tell you something. The Curious Red Flags, my podcast is gonna take care of us. It's gonna take care of us. Just relax, okay? I was like, okay. And I never knew what that meant until now that he's gone. And now at any given time, I can go onto his YouTube and watch as many episodes as I want. I didn't know that he was leaving a mark for anyone that knew him to be able to go back and see. I went to a widow camp and I met a lot of different widows. And one of the widows had been widowed for like 12 years. And even though she had gotten over the initial phase of grief and her second wave, her grief had come back. And it was because she was getting older. And one of the things that hurt her so bad was that she could not remember her husband's voice. She did not know what his voice sounded like. She had no recordings of his voice, no voice messages. She says she had his voice on the voice machine for years and years. But, as people, weighing out answer machine. Remember answer machines, y'all? We used to have like answer machines that would answer our messages. Oh my God, I'm so old school. But, remember those? Like they got phased out to where people weren't using them anymore, but she couldn't remember his voice. And that's something that I probably will never have to face, because I can listen to his voice anytime I want by going to his YouTube. I still have his Instagram. I still have his videos, and it still keeps his voice very, very prominent in my head. And so I'm grateful for things like that. And so even though I used to be like on his case, like, oh, Dad, we trying to watch a movie, you get ready to go on live. If I only knew what he was doing, how many people think that people know when they're going to die? How many people think that? The day before my husband died, he made a post, and in the caption, it said top 5 dead or alive. Now, why would he say that? Why would he say that? I look at all of the amazing things that me and my husband did before he died. And I don't think that we knew that he was going to die. He had a medical emergency. It was no way for us to predict that. Our lives was fine one minute, and the next minute he was gone. But we really lived our life like we knew he was going to die. And so I'm grateful for that. And so that's one of the things that I think keeps me going. And that's one of the things that I want to encourage all the grievers to focus on. And that is the good times. Now, I'm not sure if I'm able to pull this text up, but I did get a message on episode 1 with someone that watched me on the Sherri Show. She watched me on the Sherri Show, and when I mentioned that I was a widow and we posted my husband, I talked about the death, she looked me up and she found the podcast and she watched the podcast and she sent me a message and she said, my husband died a week ago. And I'm just so glad that I found you and your podcast. And I know all too well that first week grief. See, that first week grief, you don't even know. It's like you in shock. You haven't even really put it together yet. And you can't sleep because you think that your life is a dream. You think that your loved one really isn't dead, that it's just a really bad dream, and you keep thinking that you're gonna snap and wake up out of the dream, right? And so it just doesn't seem real. And so it's all life is like this illusion that doesn't seem real. You're in shock. You don't really understand what's going on. It hasn't really hit you yet. And then, once you go through the services, it's like this person is never coming home, and it starts to hit you, and it's you crash. And so she was in her crashing stages, and what I told her, I responded to her message, and I told her that she was the reason that I do this. She was the reason that I do this podcast. I don't care if I have 10 views. If one person saw it and one person feel like that they're not alone, then my job is done. When I lost my husband, I felt so alone. I would try to get comforted by my family and my kids and my friends, but none of them have really experienced a death the way that I have. And so it wasn't really comforting to me. The only thing that was comforting to me was other widows and seeing where they were. And some of them weren't where I would want to be. I met widows who really hadn't even faced, they were like in delusion, hadn't even faced the fact that they loved one is gone and never coming back. And just watching them navigate through life delusional helped me. It made me become grateful when I would see people who were in much worse predicaments. And it just overall helped me. And so I just feel like I owe it to the widow community to acknowledge us. Okay. So I want to talk about something that has been circulating on the internet recently, and it is it is Erika Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, who was murdered recently, and she was presenting, introducing JD Vance, the Vice President of the United States, and she engaged in a extremely inappropriate hug, a contact with him, where she was like grabbing the back of his neck and pushing it into her. It was like, girl, what is you doing? And people are just talking about her. They saying that he's gonna be her next. She gonna be his wife next, because him and his wife apparently is having problems. Listen, I don't know what is going on. I don't know what was going through her head, but I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you that the feeling, being able to have a man in your life that is loving and affectionate, is something that I think we often take for granted. And once you lose that and you go through day after day with no affection, nobody hugging you, nobody touching you, I don't know. I think I'm probably trying to say, I'm pretty sure she came after she gave him that hug. But I feel like she deserves grace, because the feeling of lack of affection can attack you. And I had a joke that I actually talked about what I just said. I talked about how um I talked about how just missing the physical touch, and how I gave my auntie a hug and I came. And it was just a joke that never happened, but I did go and get a massage, and I did like have an orgasm on a massage table. I've never told anyone this publicly, but I hadn't been touched in so long, and just being touched, and it wasn't really like a horny type of orgasm, but it was just like my body was like a ooh, like ooh, I was like shaking, and like just from not being touched. And it wasn't a provocative massage. He wasn't touching me in any of my private places or anything, but just being touched was so different. And this happened like months after my husband died. And I was so embarrassed. I never went back to him ever again. And then I would go and get my massages. I would try to pick like a woman so that I wouldn't feel like that. But it would still give me a feeling of like it's like an eclectic type of feeling. It's not really an orgasm, but it's an eclectic type of feeling of pleasure from being touched. And when I went to widow camp, they actually, and I was going through some of the therapy, they actually suggested that you get that because physical touch is something that you really ultimately need. But I just know that I don't know what was going through this woman's mind when she hugs him like that, or when she talked about him and said that I couldn't compare anybody to my husband, but if I could, it'd be him. I don't know why she said those things, but I know that her lack of physical touch overcame her. And I know that is why she was overly affectionate with JD Vance. I just know that because I've been there. And so oh goodness. Here go my emails, y'all. I'm sorry. I apologize. So I just wanted to find out, what did y'all think? Because they were dragging her on the internet like, oh my God, did y'all see Erika Kirk? That was so inappropriate, and this and that. And I just felt bad for her because I'm sure she probably wishes that she wouldn't have done that. But I don't know. It is what it is. But I'm gonna move on to the report card session. So the report card session is 4 C's and 2 F's, and it is made of the things that get me through my grief. When I'm feeling bad, when I'm feeling sad, things that help me get through my grief. And it sounds like a report card, 4 C's and 2 F's, but it's nothing bad or average. But what this acronym, what they stand for, the 4 C's are for comedy, cooking, crafting, and what's the other one? Comedy, cooking, crafting, and Christ. And so, because we have moved that Christ, sometimes I make it faith, make it an F, but the 2 F's are fashion, fitness, or faith. It could be 2 or 3. They all kind of blend in. And so the last episode, we talked about my second wave and how I went right to my report card to help me get through my second wave, and it is subsiding. I am doing much better. My chest pains are not as much. I actually did stop taking the medication because I have this weird fear of addiction. I had, 2 of my aunties was like drug addicts coming up, and I watched them struggle with drugs. I think that's what caused my fear of addiction, and I have an addictive personality. So I'm like really scared to get addicted to drugs. So I don't like taking medicine. I did take the medication for a little while to help me with the chest pains, to help me with my anxiety, calm me down a little bit. And but now I'm off of them. And I'm doing really good. It's been a really emotional week, just missing my husband, wishing that he was there with me for these special times. But I still have to resort to my report card. And so one of the things that has been heavy on my heart is the F for faith, or C for Christ, because I have been going to God so much more than typical, like literally falling down on my knees, praying and asking God to remove the anxiety, asking God to continue to heal my heart. And I went to church online. Mommy Barton, Dagny Barton, for those of you who don't know, his my mommy. She's my momager. She handles all of my business stuff for me. She engineers my podcast. She's just the greatest ever. There she is. She did fly to New York with me and take care of everything for me. She had a very busy week, and this Sherri show was dumped into my schedule unexpectedly. And when I tell you, she would drop everything for her daughter. When my husband died, I called her from the hospital when I was in the room with him with his body, and I was like, I need you in LA. And she was on the next flight. That night, she was there like 6 hours later. And she's always been there for me, and I love and appreciate her. And she did come to New York with me. She did handle everything for me, and it's just great to have somebody looking out for me, making sure that everything is done. And I worry her to death. And I'm happy. So her job, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I love her job, but I can't stand her job because it takes her away from me. I be forgetting that she have a job. I be calling her. She be like, "Oh, I'm at work." I'm like, "Oh God." So I'm waiting for the moment that my success rises to the point where she can quit her job. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the second I get some real money, New Life gonna need a new life because they not gonna have her. No, I don't think that there's anything that anybody can do to pull her away from her church family because that is her family, and I love everybody at New Life. But the great news that we have is that on Sunday she was ordained. She is officially ordained minister. She's an elder, and it was just an amazing service. So I've never really been to church online from beginning to end, but I had to be there with her somehow because I couldn't be there physically. I had to work in Seattle. But it was an amazing service. It was very long, but I felt really connected. I never thought that I could really feel the service online the way that I did, but the Spirit of the Lord was in that hotel room. Do you hear me? And the housekeeper, I was like, what's going on in there? The way I was shouting and hollering and praising God. But I was really into the praise and worship, and we had the chat going. I just want to apologize to whoever was in the chat online for the inappropriate things that I was saying. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I was just trying to keep it going. Because, church, not that it was boring, but it was a very long service. And it had a couple of slow spots. And so we in the chat, and I'm just trying to keep it going. And a couple of things that I said was apparently inappropriate. I don't know, but they had a portion of the service where they did a ritual feet washing where the bishop washed the feet of the people who had been ordained. And I just mentioned, I hope they got a pedicure. That's all I said was I hope they got a pedicure. It got so quiet and in the chat, like, oh, and I was just trying to, break the ice. I'm sorry. So apparently I'm blocked from the making comments on the chat. But anyway, it was a great service, and I felt really, really connected. I felt the Spirit of the Lord, and it was just amazing. And I'm looking forward to doing it more because I never thought that I would get that particular experience because I always log on and then watch it for a second and then just log off. But it was different this time, and so I can't wait to this Sunday where I can watch again and just feel like I'm a part of the service. And so I thank and praise God for delivering me and bringing me to where I am, to where I can actually get through these conversations, and I can actually help people, and I can actually tell people that it's going to be okay because I'm a living witness. It's going to be okay. And that's what I told the lady that sent me the message about, her husband dying last week and her seeing the Sherri show. And that's what I want to encourage all of you all to understand is that, baby, you're going to go through it. You're going to go through it, but you are going to be okay. You're going to be okay. That's the okay, the virtual new life. There it is, y'all. This is mynewlife.com. 4C's Christ. Log on and enjoy the service. I believe that you can log on and you can actually watch the ordination ceremony go on, and you'll see Dagny Barton is her name, and it's toward the end, so you got to fast forward 2 hours, 2 hours and 50 minutes to get to the end. But if you want to watch the whole service, it may bless you the way that it blessed me, so I encourage you to watch the whole service. And then my daddy did make an appearance at the end when he was able to help dress his wife in the garment. And let me tell you something, y'all gonna see his back for 18 minutes because he felt his duty was to button every last button on her little gown thing. I'm like, what is going? I'm talking about every last button, Daddy. Really? But he did make an appearance, and it was great to be able to see that. And it was one of those things where I wish I would have taken off work and come. I don't have the regular job that people have. I can't just take a day off. I have to miss the whole weekend, and I make a lot of money on the weekend. And so it's detrimental to my lifestyle if I miss work. So I try to schedule everything around work. And so, but when you got family, you miss a lot working on the weekends. And I really wish that I had made it, but I was able to watch. So if you're feeling low, if you're feeling that second wave of grief, if you're in the initial stages, I just want to tell you to go to God. You know, I'm not no evangelist or, you know, minister or nobody official. I'm just a sinner saved by grace, and I'm just somebody who done been through something, and I can tell you that whatever your spirituality is, if you connect with it, it will help you. I promise you, your higher power, whatever it is, it will help you. So one of the things that I prayed for is I prayed and I fasted and I prayed this year, January. I fasted and I prayed for a breakthrough in my career because I've been kind of stagnated, and I just wanted a breakthrough. And it's frustrating when you fast and you pray, you don't see no results. But God said, wait, and He is beginning to show me that He is King. And so I just got to give God the glory. And so you know, that I know what my faith has done for me, and it can help you too. Thank you, because I didn't have the words. So definitely lock into your faith and your higher power. I posted this video today because I was in shambles because I was getting all of these messages and emails and texts and DMs, and okay, so we gotta repost this. You know, we got the Sherri show coming on. Repost this. We got Miss Pat coming. You know, and I was like, ugh. And I said, wait a minute, this is what I prayed for. And I hate when people cry on the internet, and I even mentioned this in the beginning of my video, not knowing that I was gonna go into a whole cry fit. But if we could cue that video, this is what I posted.
Oh, nobody thought that I would be able to bounce back when my husband died. You know, all of the trauma and drama. It would have been so easy for me to give up, but I kept working. I kept writing. I kept going on stage, even when I didn't feel like it. And now I'm able to see the fruits of my labor. Baby, I'm all over your TV screen. Listen,
Period.
I give God the glory for delivering me and for keeping me. This morning I was on Sherri Shepherd Show, and tonight I'll be on BET Miss Pat Settles It. And I praise God, and I want to encourage anybody who's going through to continue to push through. And don't give up on yourself, because it's going to pay off. I guarantee you.
Woo, baby. Okay, that was the ugly cry. Look at it. And I'm gonna tell you, I got this scarf on my head. I got these glasses on. I threw myself together, but I've been in shambles all day. I've been in shambles all day because it's just surreal. And when I started getting the messages from the people that, you know, were widows that found me on Sherri, it just was additional confirmation that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, you know. And so, we're not gonna show this video no more. So you know, you got to go to your higher power for strength, and you cannot give up on yourself. You that's the most important thing. Look at that waist in that picture, baby. Let me tell you something about that waist. Snatched. Snatched. Come on, waist. I hadn't ate in 2 days trying to get ready for that dang on Sherri show. Because I got these jokes about getting my body done, and I had stopped telling them for a long time because you couldn't even tell that I got my body done. I had gained so much of the weight back. And so, I do have the curves. And now I know y'all saying you ain't gonna talk about God and the BBL in the same episode, but yes, I am. Yes, I am gonna talk about God and the BBL in the same episode. I don't care nothing about y'all, okay? I don't care nothing about y'all judging me, honey, because they gonna talk about you whether it's fat or flat, okay? So I definitely I definitely was snatched on that photo. But yeah, I definitely thank God for seeing me through. And I definitely want to encourage anybody that's going through anything. I don't care whether it's grief, whether it's, a tough time in your career, a tough time in your relationship, a tough time, with your children, because grown kids, they will take you through it. You hear me? Ain't nothing gonna break your heart like a grown kid who forgot everything that you done for them. So I definitely encourage you to go to God, and He will work it out. That song, Jesus will work it out. I definitely encourage you to do that. So that is my big C. It's my gratefulness for Christ and my faith keeping things all together for me. Now, you all really enjoyed my unboxing that I did in the last episode where I showed you guys the Loewe shoes that I ended up wearing on the Sherri Show. And so by popular demand, we're going to do the other report card session. It's going to be F for fashion. So we have faith and fashion, or Christ and fashion, however you want to say it. But we're going to do a wintertime unboxing. I'm about to get naked. Okay, not that kind of naked, but I'm about to get naked with the Naked Wolfe. Okay, this is backwards. This is Naked Wolfe. No, okay. So Naked Wolfe. So this is an unboxing that we're gonna do. This is a brand that is it's kind of middle end, not too high, but not too low. They like a little bit more than Uggs, but a little bit less than Chanel, but a lot less than Chanel. So this is a winter boot that I really wanted, and I got these from Bloomingdale's, and I went online, and after I went online, I put them in my cart, and then I said, oh, I don't know. And then I went back to my cart and it said they gone, and I was like, what? So I got some Uggs, and then I saw that they had gotten restocked. So I got these two. Just a whole hoarder. Why do I have all these clothes and shoes, y'all? But they are a different color at least. And like I said, this is Naked Wolfe. This is a really nice brand. And these were $300. Like I said, a little bit more pricey than Uggs, but it's not $2,000 like some of them. But this is the boot. It's just not the cutest little boot ever. So it has like a little platform. They're so comfy, cozy. And I really, really love these. And so I have the fur coat that I wore to New York. I got that from Zara. And it's a perfect match. It's a perfect match. So this is my new winter boot. And this is a size 9. Don't they look small? They look small for a 9. So I cannot wait to wear these this winter through the airport. It has a little wolf on the side of it. That's the little logo. And so I really, really like these, and I'm excited about these. And so there's your unboxing. I'm gonna try to unbox something every week now. But there's your unboxing for fashion. We can already close this thing out, y'all. What are we at? 48 minutes. Oh yeah, I've been on here way too long. So yeah, so I'm getting ready to close it out. But I just want to tell everybody thank you for all of the love and support. We're going to get back into the rhythm of these episodes, but I definitely wanted to give a major shout out to Sherri and her team, as well as everybody on the Miss Pat Show season 3. And so I'm excited about the things that have come. And just imagine if I would have given up. Just imagine if I would have just said, you know what, I'm not going to continue doing comedy. I'm just gonna wallow in my grief, and I'm just gonna, lay here and cry all day and not work and lose everything. Because I'm gonna tell you, that's very easy to do. It sounds like I'm making fun of it or light of it, but I'm gonna tell you that's very, very easy to do. It's just to give up. It's easy to give up, and I don't want anybody to give up. I want you guys to continue to fight the good fight, to continue to push through your bad days, continue to bet on yourself. Continue to bet on yourself. And when you bet on yourself and put the work in, it's going to pay off. I don't care what aspect of your life it is. What it is, put the work in and continue to focus, and you are going to get your time to shine. And I told the young lady who texted me about her husband dying last week, I told her that she could expect for things to get worse, because they do. They do get worse. A week after I lost my husband, fast forward to 4 years, things have gotten so much worse. I have lost loved ones who I never thought that I would lose, who I thought they were going to be in my life forever, that I don't even talk to no more. I lost friends, people, like I said, people have distanced themselves from me. I lost career opportunities because of drama. I lost so much. I continue to lose. But at the end of the day, my wins outweigh my losses. So expect to hurt. You're going to hurt. You're going to cry. You're going to wish you was dead. You're going to want that to stop, But I don't want you to. Don't give up. Take you a day and have you a bad day. Take you a day off work. Take some time away. But get back in there and continue to grind and take care of yourself. Bet on yourself, because ain't nobody going to take care of you like you're going to take care of you. This is my new line of merchandise. It is on my page, but this is the full hoodie, and I'm going to give this to the young lady that texted me, sent me the message. Barbara was her name. I'm sending this hoodie to Barbara, and this is my Can't Steal My Joy hoodie. This is like a spaceship type of bling out type of, not bling, bleach out type of distress. I'm going to send this to her. I don't know where she lives in the world, but hopefully it's somewhere cold where she can enjoy a hoodie. And I'm sending that to her. And I want you to also continue to follow and like and support. I also have a Miss Pat Settles It rally towel. It's just a little cute Miss Pat Settles It rally towel. And I'm going to give this to whoever goes in the comments and tells me about their favorite case. Tell me about your favorite case on Miss Pat Settles It. It can be a case that played yesterday or last season or the first season. But tell me what your favorite one were, and you can win this rally towel. Thank you all for watching. It's been an amazing day. Bet on you. Give God the glory. And kind of splurge on yourself a little bit this week. Shop. Give yourself something special, a little special treat. And if you get a massage, try to control your hormones. Don't be like me. Have a good one, y'all. I'm out. We wrapping things up with just a little video.